Welcome to this week's Pillai Center Hangout. My name is Paru, and I'm very excited to be here today to continue with this journey talking about the goddesses as we approach Navaratri, or the 9 nights of the goddess, coming up this week. And we have a very special guest today. Again, we'll be joined by Mohini, who has walked us through the past few weeks talking about the goddess, bringing the goddess into our lives. And I just want to recap really quickly what she has done with us the past few weeks and prepare us for what she has in store today. So we began our journey looking at the goddess with a special message from the goddess, a direct message from the goddess about this time and how important it is, not just this time of Navaratri, but this time on the earth plane, as it's the golden age and everyone, both men and women, embracing the goddess within them. And then Mohini walked us through last week 5 very practical steps about how we actually close the goddess out of our life. And she asked us some really important questions, which include, how do you experience joy in your day? And joy is the epitome of the goddess. The goddess is pure joy, so the more joy you have, the more you're connecting and embracing that goddess. Then she asked us how we nurture other people in our relationships, looking at all types of relationships, from our family to our coworkers to people we meet just in our everyday life, and our interactions with them if they have that nurturing energy. Next, she asked us about our relationship to women, how we relate to all the women in our lives, our friends, again, our siblings, our mother, really important people, and looking at our direct relationship with women and how we can improve that. And finally, she addressed more of our expression of the goddess in the world, first in our own space. So if you think about your room or your office, the space where you spend most of your time, if you invite beauty into that space, if you welcome the goddess, if it's clean, clutter-free, and just warm and expresses the essence of who you are, that's very important for the goddess. And then also your expression of your own physical self, how you dress up, how you present yourself to the world, is the goddess coming through you, taking form through you. And these were the 5 steps to look at to see if we close the goddess out of our life. And the best part was that Mohini explained that they're very easy, and that there's something you can do right now. You can make this change. So today she's going to take us on a new journey as we approach Navaratri. She's going to help us know how to invite the goddess into our life. And again, Dr. Pillai mentioned this Navaratri is so important because of the time on the earth plane and the ability for the goddess to come and heal us and help us change our lives. So with that, I'd like to introduce Mohini again and have her guide us through this week, inviting the goddess into our lives. So welcome, Mohini.
It's great to be here. Thank you, Paru. And by the way, that is a fantastic recap. Thanks a million for expressing it in your own words, because your goddess energy carries a new meaning with it. So thanks very much.
Yes, of course.
So everyone, we are moving closer and closer into embodying the goddess. And the topic today is something that I'm very excited about, because the closer we come to being willing to allow the goddess to totally step into our life and change every aspect of our life and really live through us, that is the day that this earth plane will become heaven on earth, because the goddess has come here to heal the earth, and she's calling upon each one of us. Men, you have an inner goddess within you, and that is the power behind your life, every aspect of your life. And women, you are the living embodiment of the goddess. So in this very powerful time of the most profound era of goddess consciousness that the earth plane has ever witnessed, this is the time we're calling upon all of you to step forward. And today it's all about learning how to invite the goddess into your life. And I have 3 simple steps, and very effective, by the way. So the first one is make a heartfelt prayer to the goddess. Now, when I talk about the power of prayer, this is something that every religion has validated. that the power of prayer is beyond anything that the human mind can conceive. It's not to be taken lightly at all. With prayer, you can do miracles. You can do absolute miracles. So this very first step is very simple, but it will make a dramatic impact in terms of inviting the goddess into your life. And I will tell you again the story of my friend who I was visiting about 2 months ago. And I walked into his room and I saw that he had shut his doors to the goddess. And he said, yes. So I said, tonight, why don't you just make a simple, heartfelt prayer? Something very simple, but deep within your heart and with your emotions. And ask her, I want you in my life. I need you in my life. So that night, he told the story of how he was very tired from work, and he had really no energy at all. But as he was laying in bed, he said, Goddess, I'm tired, but I really do want you into my life. Please enter my life. It was very simple. But that night, when he awoke in the early morning, a golden light filled his room, and then he entered another plane of the existence of reality. And he walked downstairs and opened the massive front doors to the home, and in marched a very ferocious and powerful goddess. She took over his house, and she took over his life. And I personally know that since that time, this person has experienced an entirely new level of success in his life. So it can happen like that. Make a very simple, heartfelt prayer, and that really is the key here. You know, like when you're talking to your mother when you're a child, you don't do anything in an intellectual way. If you need your mother, you're like, Mother, or Mom, I really need you. I need some love. Will you hold me? Will you protect me? Will you care for me? Will you nurture me? That's how we talk to the mother. We never imagine that the mother wouldn't respond. It's not possible. So it's like that with the goddess. When you make that simple, heartfelt prayer, just be centered in your heart. And emotion really calls upon her. Even in that very simple way, if you just say, I need you in my life, goddess. Please enter my heart. Take seat in my heart, in my life. Change everything in my life. Take over my life. Have a goddess revolution in your life. It can be like that. Now, Dr. Pillai talks about the power of asking. In the Bible, there is the verse, ask and ye shall receive. However, how many people ask? Just think about it. In your life, usually we're used to kind of complaining about how things are. And we don't think about going directly to God and asking. So, one time Dr. Pillai was talking about how he had visited a young lady who had ran through all her finances and she was totally without money, yet she had a wealthy father who had the resources to help her, and she was in an emergency. So he told her about 20 times, ask him, ask him, ask him, ask him, ask him. He said it again and again and again, ask him for the money. She did, and she was able to get out of her emergency. But he had to imprint her with that consciousness of asking. So today, my prayer is that with this hangout, I would love to imprint all of you with the consciousness of ask. Ask her, ask her, ask her, ask her, ask her into your life, and so it shall be. Now, the second way to invite the goddess into your life is something that I call use an archetypal costume. It's a new phrase, and I just coined it this morning. And it came about because when I was in Disneyland last week, as I mentioned on the Hangout, I was really profoundly moved by the sight of especially all these women, girls, and their mothers, dressed like princesses because it was a Halloween party that night, and everyone was in costume except for us. So as I looked at these little girls dressed like a princess, I noted that as soon as they put on the princess costume, they were prancing around like the princess, and they were holding themselves in graceful, beautiful, and elegant ways. And they were doing things with their inner being, with their attitude, with the way that they were expressing themselves because they were dressed like a princess. So it's like that. You can use an archetypal costume in order to invite the goddess into your life. Now, the archetypal costume for the goddess is that even though there are many goddesses, but classically, the goddess wears red clothes. Dr. Pillai has a very powerful meditation where you visualize the goddess in a red silk sari. So what I suggest is that during Navaratri, at midnight, dress yourself in red from head to toe. And literally, I mean head to toe. It doesn't have to cost a lot of money. A bonus in this hangout, my favorite stores nowadays are Marshall's, TJ Maxx, and Kohl's. I've picked up a lot of stuff for $15, $10, $20. You could go and get yourself an archetypal costume of red from head to toe, men and women. When you wear that red dress, and when you sit at midnight and invite the goddess into your life, especially during Navaratri, which starts 24th, miracles will happen. Miracles will happen. She will immediately respond. She responds to the color red. So, wear your archetypal costume, and then you are embodying the goddess. She loves to come to the ones that are already embodying her, because she can see that that's a sign of love and respect to her. The third step, invite the goddess into your life through her signature sound and her signature form. Now, Dr. Pillai has taught various mantras on the goddess throughout the years, and if you go to his YouTube videos, you will see videos talking about Kleen. Kleen is Parvati's signature sound, and it calls particularly relationship into your life, loving relationship. And Dr. Pillai has also been talking extensively about Shreem Brazi, the new name for the goddess in the Golden Age. And many of you know that in Singapore, we have a group of people that chant Shreem Brazi 100,000 times. And they do it all together, and it adds up to 1 million, and they do it all day. And every single time that we have a session like that, people tell me that immediately a money miracle came into their life. So, when you call upon the goddess with her sound, with her signature sound, it's like calling upon your lover. Just imagine if you say the name of your lover over and over and over and over, you will call your lover's energy to you. So it's like that with the signature sound. It's a way of calling, it's like a love song, calling upon your lover with love. It's her special signature sound. It's unnamed, she has many names, but it will call her to you. Now, there is a signature form for the goddess. There are various signature forms to the goddess. But the one that I'm going to talk about today is a form that you can use in conjunction very powerfully with your red archetypal costume. And that is when you wear those red clothes and sit at midnight and invite the goddess into your life. If you sit on a red square pillow, that pillow is a very powerful symbol to invite the goddess into your life, and particularly to give you the energy of manifesting material comforts. Dr. Pillai has talked about the square is a very powerful symbol for Goddess Lakshmi, and for squaring away reality, for bringing materiality, beauty, material comforts, money into your life. And so he has talked about how you can combine all these elements. Do it during Navaratri. Go for the ultimate experience. At midnight, sit with red clothes from head to toe. Sit on a red square pillow. Make a heartfelt prayer to invite the goddess into your life. That is a beautiful way to invite her, and I promise it will definitely happen. People will experience her presence entering their life in different ways. It's different for everyone. It's like comparing apples and oranges. I can't say how it will be for all of you, but I do know that it will happen. Now, if you want to move beyond the invitation, and then become initiated. That is the step that can literally make you the goddess, starting during Navaratri, and you can live goddess consciousness, goddess power every day in your life and heal this world. So I invite all of you, if you are willing to take the step that will bring you the ultimate experience of merging with the goddess. If you've been listening to these hangouts, if you're working on opening your doors to the goddess, and if you would love to invite her into your life in the way that I've described tonight, if you then take the next step of becoming initiated, and we have two easy ways of doing that. As I mentioned in the hangout 2 weeks ago, Dr. Pillai is a master who can give initiations of the highest order. In his initiations, it's not just about teaching you about the goddess or teaching you about very powerful secretive sounds and forms that you can use to call her. He can actually take you by the hand and then take the goddess by the hand and merge the two of you together. It's like taking you by the hand and bringing you directly into heaven. We imagine, what would it be like to live in heaven? Well, Dr. Pillai has that ability. He has that divine connection within himself with all divinity. It is easy and effortless for him to merge you and the goddess as one and the same. And he does it during the experience of initiation. It's a transfer of energy. And it can happen instantaneously. So you could either join us in Florida for our beautiful goddess retreat. And recently, we just added the option to join us for only 2 days, because we know that many of you have busy lives, and it's also easier on your finances. So vividly imagine that you are there, and it can happen. We also have a beautiful Navaratri proxy package where you'll be able to join Dr. Pillai live for 2 hours on a call on Friday night, the most powerful night for the goddess during Navaratri. And you'll be joining a live webcast series for the 9 nights of the goddess, where Dr. Pillai will give you a very powerful signature sound for the goddess that can do profound miracles into having her totally take seat in your heart and take over your life in the most beautiful way. When the goddess enters your life, as I've experienced, she knows exactly what to do. It's like a goddess revolution. So this is the time. A goddess revolution is already happening, and as I suggested last week, why not hit the ground running? It is happening. The goddess is going to take over this world and heal this world of greed and violence and anger and jealousy and crime and everything that we need to eradicate from this world. It needs to happen through love, through healing, nurturing love of the goddess. And she is going to do her work. Now, if all of us are open, and if we open our doors to the goddess, invite her into our life, and become initiated, just imagine what we can create in this world. Because there are many different levels of heaven, and Dr. Pillai has talked about the fact that there are many heavens in many universes. So when we talk about heaven on earth, a time of peace and joy and love and prosperity, vital health, loving, fulfilling relationships, everyone living their higher purpose, living in joy and happiness and respect and love and trust for one another, working together. Now, just imagine what profound levels we could experience of the ultimate heaven on earth if all of us step up to living our own archetypal goddess and giving our own unique gifts to the world. And it can happen like that, absolutely, and it can happen from today. So those of you who haven't seen the hangout on the 5 signs that you've closed your door to the goddess, you can take a look at that from today. You can make very simple steps to open your doors. Just be open. From today, you don't have to wait until Navaratri to sit in red clothes at midnight and invite the goddess into your life. You can start from today. It will be very powerful during the 9 nights of Navaratri, but you can start today. And during Navaratri, you can become initiated. You can literally have a goddess revolution in your life that will last for eons, even after your soul leaves this body, and if you so desire to ascend into light, the goddess will take over your being and you become her. And then for this world and many worlds, you are goddess, and you give back what you really came here to do. So that is very exciting to me. And what about you, Paru?
Wow, thank you, Mohini. I'm very inspired, and just the energy talking about a goddess revolution is amazing. And just visualizing people doing this starting today. I was going to ask you if we can start today, and now that you said it's great to do it, not even to wait for Navaratri, but to make these little steps right now. And I really like that you emphasized asking and just empowering everyone to do that, to ask the goddess to come into our lives, because she's there and everyone can feel that, and just that simple step of making that prayer and asking. I know, as you mentioned, Dr. Pillai has been saying this for so long, but really tapping into that now and feeling that, and just that you've given such simple steps that everyone can make these changes, and the idea of this revolution that we can do it together and living heaven on earth is just amazing. Imagining everyone dressed in red, manifesting their goals and connecting with the goddess. It's just so inspiring, and I hope that people do join and take this information from you and change their lives starting today, because I can just feel the energy as you talk about it, and just the power of people stepping into what they're supposed to do here in this life and even beyond, as you said. So thank you for these such beautiful insights about the goddess.
I'm so glad it's helpful, and to me it is practical too. It's really practical, because when you get right down to it, we need the goddess in every aspect of our lives. We need the goddess when we wake up in the morning and we're like, hey, I feel kind of sluggish, I'm not too sure if I'm going to have magic in my day, and it might be like the day before, but when the goddess lives within you and when you merge with her, you can wake up to a goddess reality on the inside, and you can create a goddess reality on the outside. And like we were talking about yesterday, Paru, there's a lot of people on this planet that get lost in the humdrum daily reality, which they think is reality, but only because they only see that slice of life. So when the goddess gets into your life, practically, it can happen. It can happen. You can change your health. You can change your relationships. You can change the kind of work you do. You can change your vision for your higher purpose, and it could happen from today. So that is what we invite all of you. And Padu, exactly, if people want to join us to become initiated, where should they go on Pillai Center and do that?
Yes, so on Pillai Center there are the options for participating in Navaratri. So beyond these great things that Mohini has shared, if you want to become an initiate, there's 3 packages available on Pillai Center. The easiest way to find them is to go to the Pillai Center homepage, just pillaicenter.com, and you'll see the banners on Pillai Center. There's a beautiful goddess banner, and if you click on that, it explains the different packages. And as Mohini mentioned, there's a chance to have this experience with Dr. Pillai on Friday, which is the most powerful night of Navaratri. It's a 2-hour call, and that is combined with these webcasts where he goes through very special sounds each night of Navaratri. And so you'll be receiving all of those webcasts plus this call. And then there's another package that also incorporates fire labs. So Pillai Center has been doing these interactive fire labs with a very special priest in India, where he walks everyone through the parts of a fire lab, all of the rituals, and gives you the significance of each part of it so that you're really experiencing it firsthand. And there's an option, one of the packages has a fire lab each of the 9 nights in addition to the 9 webcasts and this very special initiation call. And if you just want to participate in the fire labs only, there's an option to do that as well. So there's three important fire labs, one for the goddess Durga, one for the goddess Lakshmi, and one for the goddess Saraswati that you can participate in. They're also interactive. So there's three really great options on Pillai Center. I believe you also will be receiving a little pendant of the Shri Chakra Yantra, which embodies all of the goddesses. And also, as Mohini mentioned, there is still the trip to Florida, which you can still register for. You can still sign up if you want to go for the entire trip or just the 2-day option, as she mentioned. And it's an amazing opportunity to be in Dr. Pillai's presence and receive these teachings, this initiation, and fully just dive into this goddess revolution. If you feel compelled to do that, I highly recommend it. And Mohini, I don't know if you have any more to say about the trip.
Gosh, there's everything to say about the trip. It's just one of those ultimate experiences where on Navaratri, if you could imagine being in a beautiful goddess vortex, in the beautiful goddess vortex of Florida, and then Dr. Pillai calls the goddess right to you in the room. Well, just imagine. Like, that makes it about as easy and profound as you can get. And if it only takes 2 days now, those of you who thought you couldn't do it, just contemplate. Could I do it? How simple could it be? Okay, there's finances to get together, and you have to rearrange your schedule. But I invite you, go within and ask, Goddess, would you like me to be there? Are you calling me to be there? And then it could happen. You know, people have told me that they've joined India trips like a week before the trip. All of a sudden they thought, my God, no matter what, I have to get to India. And I have heard story after story, I'm talking about a lot of stories, where all of a sudden a check would come in the mail for that amount. Or someone would offer to pay for the trip or something. And then they would get their visa like the last hour that the visa office was open and they were able to get on a plane. I've heard this for like 20 years now. So for those of you that feel the call and you're thinking, what, it could happen, just vividly imagine that it could happen and the Red Sea could part and the ways and means could happen. So just imagine it could happen. And if you really can't join us for Navaratri, please take advantage of this Navaratri proxy package, because I have been involved in doing those interactive fire labs, watching at home, you know, putting it up on my TV, actually connecting the computer to the TV. And it's like being there. It's like being there in India. It's really powerful. And Dr. Pillai's webcasts are incredible because you can blow up his face on your screen and there he is. You know, you can have his presence right there, and then you can join us live for the 2-hour call. So either way, there is definitely a way for anyone to join us for this goddess revolution, using the energy of Dr. Pillai to literally open the door of the goddess portal, take you by the hand, pull you into the realm of the goddess, and then take the goddess and merge her into you. It can happen like that. So tonight, I encourage all of you, open your doors to the goddess. Watch the other hangout that talked about the 5 signs. You can start inviting her into your life tonight. And if you don't have time to get your red clothes, get them and then get prepared for the first night of Navaratri. Sit down at midnight in your red clothes, and I bet you're inspired, Padu, right?
Yes, I'm so inspired, and it's just, you've put it together in such a possible way that we can make changes just with these little things like wearing red or sitting on the red square pillow and making that prayer to the goddess. And I do also encourage everyone to revisit the webcast from the past 2 weeks. The 5 tips that Mohini gave were amazing, and I've been thinking about them since I spoke to you yesterday, and just looking at my life and how to open that door more, because I think we've all closed it off a little bit, but it's really easy to change and to make small adjustments, and you can open that door much wider, letting the goddess come into your life. And I just, personally, Navaratri has always been a powerful time for me, and I know that it has for many, many people. There's always stories, as you said, Mohini, of people making great connections with the goddess and making big changes in their life. And just the thought of knowing people could do this all around the world and really starting a revolution, really embracing what you're here to be and do in this world and sharing that with the world is just an amazing thought. And knowing, as you said, Dr. Pillai is there to help us every step of the way. There's these very practical tips you can take starting today, changing your life, becoming the goddess you're meant to be, and sharing that with the world. And that's what this is about. So I feel really inspired and really empowered just from this hangout. So thank you for everything, Mohini. Do you have any last-minute advice before we go?
Well, let's all make a vow today. We're going to meet up in that goddess realm. I'm going to be hanging out there. We can all meet together. It is a plane of reality that is so beautiful. When I was abducted and taken to the realm of the goddess, everything is feminine. Every rock and tree and blade of grass and women, beautiful women everywhere. And men, you're invited. You are invited because you have an inner female. So let's meet up there. I will see you in the realm of the goddess soon.
Well, thank you, Mohini, for this amazing experience. Please, everyone, do revisit these webcasts that Jayrada and Mohini have done the past few weeks. The message from the goddess, the tips to how you close off the goddess, and actually how you open yourself up to the goddess. And then these tips today about inviting the goddess into your life, making the prayer, asking for the goddess to come to you, wearing red. Starting tonight, you can wear red from head to toe, and using the red square pillow, and then also tapping into those sounds that Mohini mentioned. They're so powerful. And I invite all of you to visit Pillai Center, look at the options. These proxy packages are amazing. They include so many powerful pieces. The initiation call with Dr. Pillai, which is, again, this coming Friday on the most important day of Navaratri. These amazing webcasts where he goes into these sounds and reveals secrets about the goddess that you won't find anywhere else, and they're so profound and so practical as well. He presents it in a way that you can use this in your everyday life to connect to the goddess. And then finally, those fire labs, these are amazing, and Dr. Pillai often says that fire labs are the fastest way to change your life, and I know this firsthand. They've changed my life in so many ways, and being able, as Mohini said, to put it on your computer or your TV, it's just like you're there, and you get a really tangible experience for a proxy fire lab. So I encourage all of you to go to Pillai Center, look for the banner on top of these packages. You can also join this trip. It's an amazing experience to see Dr. Pillai in person, to be among other people who want to embrace the goddess and receive these teachings and initiations in a beautiful setting, in the beautiful divine goddess energy of this place in Florida. Please be part of this revolution in any way that you can. Mohini has laid this out for us. There's no reason not to participate. There's no reason not to embrace the goddess within you. So if you have any questions, always feel free to write in. You can write into office@Pillai Center, and we can guide you to these different packages or help you sign up for the trip. And we can even help you find these hangouts so you can revisit them over and over and continue to incorporate these great insights and teachings into your life. So I thank everyone. I really thank Mohini for being here again and sharing this inspiration, this empowerment for all of us. And I invite you to be part of this revolution, to embrace the goddess within you, and to find a way that works best for you. If it's following these tips, participating in one of the proxy packages, or joining the trip in Florida, now is the time. Don't wait. The goddess is here and waiting for you. So thank you all. Thank you, Mohini. And we'll see you again on the next webcast at Pillai Center.
Bye.